The discussion continued long after Kenny and Pines returned. The mystery of Lord Rain had somehow become even stranger. Not clearer, not simpler, stranger. The room remained gathered around the large table overlooking Reach Prime. Outside, the city continued living its life. Inside, 5 of the most influential people in the system sat trying to understand one insane old man. Kenny leaned back in his chair. "We're missing something." Nobody disagreed. The villagers had provided clues, not answers, experiments, fear, monsters, missing people. Yet none of it explained why Lord Rain had entered Eclipse, or what he ultimately wanted. The room sat in silence. Then Kenny stood. "I want another opinion." Pines looked up. "From who?" "The Emperor." That immediately got everyone's attention. Darius nodded. "Not a bad idea," Selene agreed. "He sees things differently than we do." Another pause. "And he's known your father longer than any of us." Kenny walked toward the communication terminal. The request was sent immediately. Unlike most people in the galaxy, Kenny didn't wait long. Within minutes, the terminal lit up. The Emperor appeared. The older man looked surprised, not alarmed, just curious. "Kenny." Kenny nodded respectfully. "Your Majesty." The Emperor immediately smiled. "Whenever you call me like that, I know something is bothering you." Pines snorted from across the room. The Emperor noticed. "Hello, Pines." Pines waved. "Still alive, somehow." Lyra laughed. The Emperor's attention returned to Kenny. "What's happened?" Kenny spent the next 20 minutes explaining everything. The palace, Cassian, the recordings, the villagers, the little girl, the fear, the monsters, the experiments. The Emperor listened carefully, never interrupting, never rushing. When Kenny finally finished, the older ruler remained silent for several moments, thinking, processing. Then finally he spoke. "You want my opinion?" "Yes." The Emperor folded his hands. "I think you should help them." The answer came instantly, without hesitation. Kenny blinked. "That's it?" The Emperor nodded. "That's it." Pines looked disappointed. "That's boring." The Emperor pointed at him. "You once tried stealing an orbital cannon because you were bored. Still worked. It exploded. Still counts." The Emperor ignored him, returning his attention to Kenny. "The people on that world have suffered long enough." Another pause. "Whether Lord Rain's final plan matters or not, another dot, those people need help." Kenny nodded. He already agreed. The Emperor continued. "I also think something else." "What?" The Emperor leaned forward slightly. "I think you're looking too hard at Lord Rain." The room quieted. Even Darius looked interested. The Emperor continued. "Every report you've given me over the last few weeks focuses on him." Another pause. "His plans, another. His motives, another. His actions." He pointed directly at Kenny. "But the people left behind matter too." The words landed harder than expected. The Emperor wasn't wrong. Everyone had become obsessed with Lord Rain. Meanwhile, entire villages struggled for clean water. Children were growing up surrounded by ruin. Families were trying to survive. The Emperor smiled softly. The greatest rulers know when to stop chasing enemies. Another pause, and start helping people. The room remained silent. The advice felt simple, yet powerful. Darius slowly nodded. Selene looked thoughtful. Even Pines had stopped joking. Eventually, Kenny spoke. "I want the people to keep their world." The Emperor raised an eyebrow. "What?" Kenny activated a star map. The old Rain world appeared, scarred, broken, still recovering. "I could take it." Another pause. "I could annex it." Another. "I could make it part of Reach." Another. "It would probably make governing easier." The Emperor nodded. "Reasonable." Kenny looked at the hologram. "But I don't want it." The room became quiet. The Emperor remained still, listening. Kenny continued. "I don't want their planet." Another pause. "I don't want their resources." Another. "I don't want their votes." Another. "I don't want their population." The Emperor smiled slightly. Kenny pointed at the world. "I want them to have it." Another pause. "I want them to rebuild it." Another. "I want them to own it." Another. "I want them to govern themselves." The room had gone completely silent now. Kenny folded his arms. "I'm not trying to rule the galaxy." Another pause. "I'm trying to balance it." The words hung there. Nobody spoke. For several seconds. Then the Emperor laughed. A genuine laugh. Not mocking. Not amused. Proud. The older ruler leaned back in his chair. "There it is." Kenny blinked. "What?" The Emperor pointed at him. "That's exactly why I trust you." The room remained silent. The Emperor continued. Most rulers would have taken the world. Another pause. Most rulers would have called it compensation. Another. Most rulers would have justified it. Another. Most rulers would have convinced themselves they deserved it. He smiled. You didn't. Celine looked proud. Darius looked proud. Lyra looked proud. Even Pines looked proud, though he tried hiding it. The Emperor shook his head. Balance. Another pause. Do you know how many people with your level of power ever say that word? Kenny shrugged. The Emperor laughed again. Not many. The older ruler's expression softened. The galaxy needs rulers who know when enough is enough. Those words lingered. The room felt lighter somehow. The Emperor eventually leaned forward. So here's my advice. Everyone listened, help them rebuild. Another pause. Send engineers. Another. Send farmers. Another. Send doctors. Another. Send teachers. Another. Send infrastructure. Another. But don't send governors. Kenny smiled. That matched exactly what he wanted. The Emperor nodded. Give them the tools. Another pause. Then let them stand on their own feet. The conversation continued for nearly another hour. Strategies, logistics, aid plans, security concerns. By the end, everyone felt more confident than before. Eventually, the Emperor stood. I should get going. Kenny nodded. Thank you. The Emperor smiled. Anytime. Then his expression became slightly mischievous. And Kenny? What? If Lord Rain somehow starts singing again on live television? Another pause. Please tell Pines not to challenge him to a guitar contest. Pines immediately pointed. I would have won. The Emperor disconnected before anyone could answer. The room burst into laughter. Even Darius, for the first time since returning from the dead world. The tension broke. Only briefly, but it broke. Eventually attention returned to the task ahead. Aid. Real aid. Not military aid. Humanitarian aid. The following hours became a whirlwind. Reach Prime's spaceports lit up with activity. Engineers volunteered. Doctors volunteered. Water specialists volunteered. Agricultural experts volunteered. Repair crews volunteered. Entire organizations stepped forward. The moment the public learned what conditions were like on the old Rain world, support exploded. Ship after ship began preparing. Supply manifests grew. Medical equipment was loaded. Water filtration systems, solar arrays, seeds, construction materials, portable housing, educational resources, everything. Kenny spent most of the afternoon overseeing preparations personally. Not because he needed to. Because he wanted to. The old world deserved a chance. The people deserved a chance. As evening approached, he found himself standing on one of Reach Prime's observation platforms. Below him, dozens of aid vessels waited. Workers moved between them, loading supplies, preparing routes, checking manifests. Celine stepped beside him, quietly. Together they watched. The first convoy prepared for departure. Kenny smiled faintly. Think it'll help? Celine followed his gaze. The Queen smiled. It already is. The first ship lifted, then another, then another. One by one the aid vessels rose into the evening sky, not carrying soldiers, not carrying weapons, not carrying conquest, carrying hope. And for once, the future of Lord Rain's forgotten world didn't seem quite so hopeless.